Are you going upstairs?
No.
You're climbing a ladder.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Reading a book.
Oh, you're so fast at this. Okay, your turn. Are you telling me that it's time to start the show?
Yes.
All right then. Hello everybody, welcome back to The Link Show. Isla, thanks for letting me come back to your playroom again.
No problem. I love when you come.
It's so much fun and I love all the crafts and all the games and all the Bible stories. I think the Bible stories are my favorite part. Do you have a favorite part?
The craft.
The craft. You are very good at the craft. Actually, where is the craft? Walter should be here by now. Walter's here. I think I might go get it this time because I'm really excited for you to see the mystery item. All right, so we'll take a look at the craft first. This week we've got this, which says, "My help comes from the Lord." I'll give you that.
Whoa.
But I'm going to take this out and hide it for a second.
Okay.
It's a very strange mystery item. It is that. Do you know what this is?
A plug.
It's a plug for a bathtub. But why did I send you a plug today? Any ideas?
No, why?
Well, how about we go check out Preach Part 1, see if we can figure it out. Okay, I have a question for you today. I want you to put on your thinking hats, your remembering hats, and I want you to try and remember a time that someone did something nice for you. Maybe it was at a birthday party and they gave you a gift that you'd always wanted. Maybe a friend or your mum or dad, they got you that thing that you were hoping for. Maybe you were out at lunch playing a game and someone helped you to win so that you felt like you were the winner. Maybe you're at school and you forgot to bring your lunch and a teacher helped you to get some food and someone did something nice for you. You see, today we're going to learn that it's good to remember when people are nice to us. It's good to think about things that have happened in our lives that are good, they're positive, they're things that make us happy. Those are the things we need to think about. And a little later on, we're actually going to continue our Bible story of Joshua and the Israelites on their way to the promised land. And it seemed like the way was stuck. There was no way. It was an impossible situation, but God does something amazing and makes a way. But the cool thing is they actually stop and make sure they remember God's goodness. And so that's what we're going to learn today. You see, I remember when I was younger, we had my birthday party. We had a heap of friends come over and we lived on a big property. And as the activity, my parents organized an obstacle hunt. And so we got a clue and it was like, the next clue is hidden under the thing that you jump on. And we're like, what is that? What is that? It's like, oh, it's the trampoline. So we'd run to the trampoline and we'd search around until we find the next clue. And then the next clue is like, the clue is hidden somewhere where food grows. And we're like, oh, we've got our vegetable patch. And so we'd go to the vegetable patch. And so we went through this challenge, all trying to be the first one to solve the treasure hunt. Now, I wasn't really good at treasure hunts, and so I was coming last. Yes, it was my birthday, and I was a little upset, but I was having fun with my friends, so I didn't mind if I didn't win. But then one of my friends who was coming first came to me and said, come and help me and we'll share the prize. And I was like, you don't have to do that. He said, no, I want you to come and win with me. And I was like, that's so kind. And so we went and finished the treasure hunt and we came first place. Now, I would never have been able to do that on my own. It was impossible. I couldn't figure out some of the clues. There were some really difficult ones, even though it was my house. But I remember, even to this day, years and years later, that someone stopped and showed kindness to me, even though they didn't have to. And so that's what we're going to talk about a little later on. Do you stop and remember the times when people are kind to you? And even more importantly, do you stop and remember the times that God is good to you? But we'll talk about that in just a minute.
Buckle, I love this week's craft. It was so fun.
You did such a good job. I love it because it reminds us that our help comes from the Lord, which is God, and I love the mountains. But can you tell us what colors you did for yours?
Yep. First, for the words, I did a fun little pattern. I did purple and turquoise. Then I did green for the grass, and I did some light blue for the snow.
Very nice.
Then I did yellow for the sun, and I used a peach one for the big mountain.
I love this. Now, what you can do if you want to is you can then cut all these out and you can glue them all on colored paper and make a really cool collage. But I think what you've done here, Isla, is amazing. But what else is amazing is all of your arts and crafts.
So if you do a cool craft, you can send it to us.
That's right. There's an email in the description of this video that your leader, teacher, or kids pastor can use to send them through. Say hello to Joshua, one of the heroes of the Bible, and he is just taken over as the leader of the Israelites. Before him, Moses had been leading, but because of the people's disbelief in God's power and goodness, they had been wandering around the wilderness for 40 years. But now the time had come for God to take the Israelites into the promised land. So Joshua gathered all of the Israelites together, and they came to the Jordan River, the last thing stopping them from crossing into the land. And so for 3 days and 3 nights, they set up camp near the river and prepared themselves to cross, just as God had commanded. And then the time came to move on. But at this time of year, the river's waters were so high that it was impossible to cross on foot. And so God told Joshua to gather the priests together and to carry the Ark of the Covenant and to lead the people. And so Joshua got all of the Israelites to pack up their things to get ready to cross the river. Joshua told the priests to walk into the water. And so they did what he said. And as soon as they got to the edge of the river, the water stopped flowing and the priests were standing on dry ground. And all of the Israelites crossed to the other side. Once they'd all crossed, Joshua told 12 men from the 12 tribes of Israel to go to the place that the priests were standing and to each pick up a stone and bring it with them to the other side. Once they did this, Joshua told the priests that they could come out, and as soon as they left the river, the water started flowing again. Joshua and the men brought the 12 stones back to their camp, and using the stones built a memorial to God, so that anyone that came after them, their children and their children's children, would remember that God had stopped the Jordan River from flowing, doing a miracle and bringing his children into the promised land.
Now, there's a couple of things in this story that are amazing. Firstly, they're at a river that's flooded. It's the time of year where the water's really high. They can't just walk across. It is so deep, they can't cross on foot. They're stuck. But they're thinking, God, you promised us to get us to the place on the other side. Why are we stuck here? But God doesn't abandon them. God has a plan. And even though they felt like they were stuck, God did a miracle. He split the water and the Israelites were able to walk across. They put their trust in God. But my favorite part of this story is that Joshua says, okay, wait everybody, go back in and get a pile of stones. And people might be thinking, wait, why are we getting rocks from the river? There's rocks outside the river. Let's just use the rocks outside. And Joshua says, no, I want the rocks from where the priests are standing on the dry ground where there's meant to be a river. We're gonna make a monument so that all through the future, when people come to these stones, they will remember we were stuck. It was an impossible situation, but God was good to me and God made a way where there was no way. We will remember God's goodness. And I wonder for you and me, what are we doing to make sure that we remember the times that God is good for us? Maybe you're having a terrible day. Something's going wrong. Maybe people are being mean to you and you stopped and you prayed, God, help me have a good friend. And then all of a sudden someone comes up to you and they're kind to you. Do you stop and remember God's goodness? Maybe someone's sick and you pray for them and they get better. Do you stop and remember God's goodness? You see, the Bible actually tells us that all good things, all the good things that we have in our life that are good for us actually come from God. God has a good plan for your life. He has a good purpose for your life, and He wants to make a way where there's no way. But if we don't remember that, when we come to the next challenge, we get downhearted and we get sad because, oh no, I'm stuck again. Instead of remembering, hold on, the last time I was stuck, I prayed and God helped me. I'm going to remember that because now this time I feel stuck, but I'm going to pray because I know God will help me. And so this is my challenge for you today. If something happens that's really good, something that helps you, write it down somewhere or spend some time thinking about it so that the next time you feel like life is hard, you will remember God's kindness and you'll ask for help and you'll be able to trust that God will always be there.
Now I know why we have a plug.
Oh, you're so clever. I knew you'd figure this one out, even though it's a little bit weird. God helped the Israelites cross over the river, and so it's like a plug and the water goes out of the road. That's how we can remember. But you know what? I hope you do remember the Bible story. Guess what it's time for?
The Bible quiz.
The Bible quiz. So the way this is going to work is we'll ask you some questions with 2 possible answers. If you think the first answer is correct, put your hands on your
head.
And if you think the second answer is correct, hands on your
shoulders.
Here we go with question number 1. Now, who carried the Ark of the Covenant into the river? Was it the priests or was it the plumbers? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, what do you think the answer is?
Was it the priest?
That's right, the priests carried the Ark of the Covenant to the water. What happened when they got to the water? Did the river stop flowing so they could walk on dry land? Or was there a big fire that came down from the sky? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, what do you think the answer is?
Did the water stop flowing?
It did, that's right. God stopped the water so they could walk across on dry ground. Third and final question. What was the name of the river? Was it the Justin River or was it the Jordan River? You've got 5 seconds. Okay, Isla, what do you think the answer is?
Was it the Jordan River?
It was the Jordan River. You got all 3 correct. High five.
Yay!
Good job. Did you get all 3 correct as well? I hope you did. But thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Baku, I love when you talk about God. It's so fun, and I love when I get to hang out with you and you.
It's true. Having you here with us is so much fun. So make sure you come back again next week for another episode of The Link Show. Bye.